Hey guys, I'm so glad you're here. Let me show you how to make a really easy lasagna bolognese. Start off by making the bechamel sauce. So the first thing you need to do is melt the butter on low heat, then toss in the flour and quickly stir or whisk to create what looks like a lump-free paste. It's important that during this time you do not happen to be looking for your other ingredients because the paste could burn and then you have to start all over again. And who wants to do that? So then add in the milk and stir, or in this case, just swap to a whisk, which is what I should have done in the first place. And now in goes the salt and the nutmeg. Don't put too much nutmeg as it can be quite overpowering. And now very patiently stir your sauce for about 6 minutes or until it thickens to the right consistency, which should be thick, but not so thick that it seems almost like the paste before you added in the milk. And that's it. That's our bechamel sauce done. And I assume you already have a batch of bolognese sauce maturing in flavor. So let me tell you a little bit about the lasagna sheets. For this recipe, I used homemade fresh lasagna sheets, which I did not boil. However, if you will be using dry store-bought lasagna sheets, bring water to a boil in a large pan and add the sheets one at a time, making sure to do a swirling motion in the water to separate the sheets, keeping them from sticking to each other. And you should boil it for the amount of time that is stated on the pack. And after that, you move on to the fun stuff. Spread a few tablespoons of bechamel sauce to the bottom of your baking dish and add a little bolognese sauce on top of that. Make a swirling motion and just have fun, messing around with it. Okay, not messing around with it, but you know what I mean. Just making sure that the bottom of the pan is not dry because your lasagna sheets need to cook through. So layer your first lasagna sheet, and on top of that, we're going to do the same thing we did before, which is add a few more tablespoons of bechamel sauce, top that up with bolognese sauce, and add in some grated Parmigiano Reggiano or Parmesan if you don't have any Parmigiano Reggiano. And of course, since we like it super cheesy, we're gonna add some fresh mozzarella. Oh goodness, and black pepper. If you have some freshly ground, add that onto the lasagna. If not, or if you're making this for kids as well, just skip that part out. And I have a feeling someone's giving me an evil eye right now. Why, you ask? Well, because I choose not to slice the mozzarella and instead just prefer to crumble it all over the sauce because it's just more fun that way. Okay, I'm not going to get into how many layers I did for the lasagna because I honestly don't remember. But just continue the process until you get to the very top. And on the last layer, your lasagna should have a little bit of bechamel sauce, bolognese sauce, and cheese. Add the Parmigiano Reggiano. And you could add a bit of the fresh mozzarella, but I chose not to. And instead, I went with the grated mozzarella and a drizzle of olive oil. Cover the baking tray and let it bake for 40 minutes at 165 degrees Celsius. Then remove the lid and let it bake for a further 7 minutes. And that's it. I bet that was easier than you thought it would be. The recipe is on the blog. I hope you subscribe and stick around.